As you get into the world of night vision, one of the products you're going to inevitably have to purchase is a helmet mount so you can wear your night vision on your helmet and be hands-free with your night vision. We have 3 different versions currently on our website of dovetail mounts that are going to allow you to mount something like a BNVD or the PD Pro from Photonis, or even a bridge set of PVS 14s onto your helmet. And today we're going to be talking about those 3 different mounts, comparing the features of each of them together, and giving you a rundown of all the information so you can make a better decision for yourself. The 3 mounts that I have in front of me today are the Photonis breakaway mount. And I'm going to hold each one up so you can get some idea of what we're looking at here. Photonis breakaway, we've got a Neurotos low stow mount right here. We also have a Wilcox G24. And as you can see, these 3 mounts are very similar in size, shape, function, but there are several differences between all 3 of them. And there's certain areas where I would say one would potentially shine more than another, depending on what you're trying to do and what your unit you are running on your helmet is. So first I want to talk about the G24, and I want to talk about the Photonis breakaway mount. And the reason I want to talk about these is because they are very, very similar. If you look at the G24 and you look at the Photonis breakaway mount, what you're going to notice is they honestly look like clones. And really the only difference that you're seeing with the Photonis mount is the buttons and controls are on opposite sides of the unit. Now, I don't know if that was just them working around a patent or trying to get out of a trademark or something like that, or if this is a totally redesigned unit that they came up with. I don't know about any of that information, but what I can tell you is if you're already used to a Wilcox G24 mount, jumping into a Photonis breakaway mount is going to be very similar and you're going to feel right at home. You just have to get used to where those buttons are on your particular unit. I would also caution that if you have multiple other G24 mounts, maybe several setups, several different helmets, you may not want to throw yourself a curveball and run a different mount. So when we're comparing them right off the bat, and I'm trying to give information or point somebody to the one that makes the most sense for them, that's my first question. If you already have Wilcox mounts, you've already run G24s, it might make a lot of sense to run the G24. When we're looking at the price points of the G24 versus the Photonis does come in at a better price. So if you're simply looking to save some money and have all the function of the G24, the Photonis might make the most sense for you. One other feature of the Photonis that I really like, if I hold them side by side as best as I can, you will notice that the Photonis has quite a bit more fore and aft adjustment in this vertical arm. And so what that's doing is when this mount is on your helmet and your unit is in front, that is giving you distance between your eyes and the unit. That is giving you a forward and back adjustment. Most units are going to work perfectly fine with the G24. There are some caveats when we get into the PD Pro, and I will dive into that in a second. So if you want more adjustability or you wear big safety glasses when you're shooting at night, you might want to run the Photonis breakaway mount. Another feature of the Photonis breakaway mount, which only really matters if you're running the PD Pro binocular unit from Photonis, is this little bar on the front. So what this little bar does on the front here is it actually engages and turns on the PD Pro unit anytime it comes into any sort of distance from the body. And realistically, it's kind of humorous. If you have the power switch off on the PD Pro, doesn't even need to be on, and you put this magnet anywhere near that unit, it is going to power on. And I don't know if you guys can see that in the top view there. If I take it away, bring it down, you'll see that the unit actually powers on. I can bring the magnet over to the side, it's going to power on. Bring it over to this side, it's going to power on. And so what Photonis was trying to do with their mount is guarantee that even if you have it on your helmet and you have the power switch off, if you flip that unit down into position, that magnet comes really close to the unit and it's going to power on. It's sort of like a failsafe. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't personally like that feature that much. The cool thing is there's 2 little screws on the front, little Allen screws. They're very tiny, but they're very accessible. And if you wanted to get rid of this magnet mount, this portion of that mount, you could take it off. I will say though that the only people that might want to consider doing that on the Photonis breakaway mount would be people that own the PD Pro binocular, because this magnetic bar does not get in the way of other units and it doesn't turn on other units. It's only the PD Pro that has that function to my knowledge, so you really don't need to get rid of it, but you have the option to do that. So if you're running anything standard and you're not running a PD Pro, most people are going to lean towards the G24. If you're looking to save a little bit of money, have the same functions in a quality mount, I would also tell people to consider getting the Photonis breakaway mount. Now we'll move into the Neurotos low stow mount, and this is arguably one of the smallest, most compact mounts on the market. And really the only downside of this particular mount, and the fact that it is so low profile, is you do not have that fore and aft adjustment range that you have with the G24, and you certainly don't have as much adjustment range as you would have with the Photonis breakaway. I've used this with a ton of units, and I've never seen that become an issue, except for one unit. When we're running the PD Pro, the Neurotos low stow almost doesn't work, and I'll explain what's happening. When you look at the PD Pro, you will notice that the dovetail is very far forward. So what that's actually doing is pushing the unit back into your face. That's why the Photonis breakaway has so much extra travel. For most units, you won't need this full range of travel, but because the PD Pro from Photonis has that dovetail so far forward, when you're using something like the low stow, which does not have as much forward and back adjustment, you'll find that you don't even have enough adjustment at all. So for folks looking to purchase the PD Pro binocular, I would steer you away from the low stow mount. If you're looking at purchasing something like a BNVD or DTNVS, RNVG, PVS31s, anything where the dovetail is very much centered on the unit, the low stow mount is going to work just fine, and you're going to get an added benefit of the fact that this thing is extremely compact when it's in its stowed position. Offers all the functionality of the G24 and the Photonis breakaway. One other nice feature is there is infinite adjustment on the fore and aft positioning of the unit on that dovetail. The way that that works is sort of like a clamp. You'll notice that there's no ratchets, no teeth. You simply loosen up the lever, slide it into position, and tighten it down. So you're not limited to the space between the teeth on the mount. You can put it in an infinite set of positions along that travel that is available to you. So again, if you're looking at BNVDs, you're running something like bridged PVS14s or an MH25 plus a PVS14, DTNVS, RNVGs, things like that. This is a solid option. The price point does come in right around the Wilcox. So of all of the mounts, the Wilcox and the low stow are going to be the most expensive, and the Photonis is going to come in at the lowest price. So you ultimately just have to decide, do you want the extra range of motion with the Photonis? Do you care that it's a little bit different than a Wilcox, that the controls are essentially opposite? As far as all of the height adjustments on these when they're on your helmet, so positioning this unit up and down in the range of motion, all of these mounts are going to offer you a very similar range of motion, and there's nothing really notable for me to say about that. They're all going to work in the same form and function in that regard. So ultimately, guys, we've got 3 mounts here that we have used extensively. We believe in them. They've worked. We have no failures with any of these. Wilcox, I would say, probably has the best name in the industry. Everybody that's running night vision knows about Wilcox. People have a good history with them. There's a good track record of Wilcox. I'd say low stow, probably not as known in the industry, but they are still a solid mount. They're still very highly regarded. The fit, finish, function of this mount is also outstanding. The Photonis is the least known, in my opinion, of all of the mounts on the table, at least in the US, but it is still a solid option whether you're running the PD Pro or any other unit. Guys, I hope this video was helpful to you. I hope it gave you some information that you can then use to make a better decision about which mount to run. In the future, as we add other mounts to our website, we of course will add them into these videos and we'll talk about them. But if you have any questions about these 3 particular mounts, please check out our website. There's a link down below. You'll get all the specifications for all 3 of these mounts. This video will be embedded on all 3 of the product pages. And as always, if you have any questions at all, you can also email us through our website. We'd be happy to help you out. If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, And please share with some friends and family who are in the night vision game and are looking for mounts right now. We would love to help them out. We'd love to help you out. We appreciate you guys for watching. See you in the next one.